Imagine you are sitting in a small cell in Tokyo. There is only a small space of 1.5 square meters around you. A basin, a commode, a small table, and a bed. That's your whole world. You wake up at 7 every morning and go to bed at 9. Day after day, month after month, year after year, you have the same routine. But do you know what the most terrifying thing is? You never know when your last day will be. Any morning, the door may suddenly open. Then you will be dragged to the gallows. There is no advance notice, no time to prepare. This is the death penalty system of Japan, which the world calls evil design or devil's design to this day. Almost all the countries of the developed world have almost stopped the death penalty. But in the Organization of Developed Countries, 2 countries still maintain this cruel punishment. America and Japan. America at least talks openly about their death penalty. But Japan kept the whole thing a secret for years. The whole world had to wait until 2010. Then, for the first time, the true face of Japan's horrific death penalty system was revealed. Now, let's come to a real story. On July 26, 2022, a man named Hirokat was sitting in a Tokyo detention center. 14 years ago, he killed 7 people and injured 10 more. The court sentenced him to death in 2011. Since then, Kat has been spending every morning in a strange state of fear. He knows that he will be hanged. But no one will tell him when. Every morning, he wakes up and thinks, is today the last day? While eating lunch, he thinks, is this my last meal? Because in Japan, death row prisoners are not informed in advance when they will be hanged. Suddenly, his door will open any morning. And the guards will come and say, come on, it's time. Only a few hours notice. But the question is, why so much cruelty? The Japanese government's argument here is that it maintains the mental stability of the prisoners if they are informed in advance, or the prisoners may commit suicide out of fear. Many people, of course, call it justice. Their argument is that even murderers do not inform their victims of their time of death in advance, so there is no need to inform the murderers of their time of death. But human rights organizations call it outright inhumane. Now listen to the story of a man named Menda Sakai. This man spent 34 years in this uncertainty. For 34 years, every morning he thought that today might be his last day. In 1983, another terrible truth came to light. Sakai was innocent. But by then 12,410 mornings had passed. All in fear and terror. A more horrifying example is the story of Yu Hakamada. He was released in 2014. Because the evidence was forged. This man was in death row for 45 years. The world's longest-serving death row prisoner. Now let's go a little deeper. Why is Japan's death penalty system so strange? In America, the history of the death penalty is intertwined with racism, or the difference between white and black skin, and slavery. But in Japan, there is no racial discrimination. And the fact is that a large part of the Japanese people are in favor of the death penalty. Surveys show that almost all people say that the death penalty should be there. What's more interesting is that Japan's murder rate is much lower than America and Europe. Yet the rate of execution of murderers in Japan is the same as in America. In 2018, 15 prisoners were hanged together in Japan. 7 of them were members of a terrible organization called the Terrible Amsherniki Domstead. They were all hanged at the same time on the same morning. But the most terrifying difference lies in the Japanese judicial system. In America, the whole process of sentencing someone to death is very complicated. First, there is a trial. Guilty or innocent. Everyone in the pair has to agree. Then there is another trial. What will be the punishment? Then everyone has to agree again. But in Japan, only a majority is enough. Suppose a panel of 9 people. 5 said you are guilty. You should get the death penalty. The remaining 4 said you are completely innocent. But even with such a close vote, you will be executed. Now let's come to the description of that terrible day. That morning of July 26, 2022. Cat is sitting with his son. Suddenly he notices that there is a lot of noise outside the door today. His chest is heaving. Is today that day? Yes, today is his last day. The door opens. The guards come and take him to a prayer room. There, a religious advisor gives him the opportunity to pray one last time. Cat writes his will. Then maybe he eats some food and has another cigarette. Then he is taken to another small room. There is a small altar there. If he is a Buddhist, there will be a Buddhist statue. If he is a Christian, there will be a cross. Here, the head warden of the prison reads out the death sentence. For the last time, Cat sees the blue curtain that covers the next room. The guards come forward. They tie a white cloth over Cat's eyes. A black hat is placed on his head. He is handcuffed from behind. His knees are also tied. Cat can no longer see anything. Then he is taken to the final execution chamber. In America, executions are carried out by poison injection. But in Japan, only hanging. There are 2 red squares painted on the floor in the middle of the room. This is where the prisoner is made to stand. Cat is standing. Under his feet is a trapdoor that will suddenly open. Now comes the most terrifying part. 3 officers enter the next room. They cannot see Cat. In front of them are 3 buttons. They look exactly the same. But the secret is that if you press 2 of them, nothing happens. And if you press the 3rd button, the trapdoor will open. Now the question is, which button is the kill switch? None of the 3 knows. In this way, the responsibility is divided among the 3. No one can say that he is the only murderer. Do you know how much each of them gets for such a terrible act? Only 20,000 yen, which is about 16,000 in money. Some officials observe the entire execution. The medical officer waits for a full 5 minutes to confirm death. Then the body is cleaned. The family is informed. If the family wants, they can take the body, or if they don't want, it is cremated by the government. In the case of some famous prisoners, the ashes are also kept in state custody. The surprising thing is that before 2007, the Japanese government did not even publish the names of the prisoners who were executed. Everything is secret. Who was killed? When was the death? Nothing was known. However, currently 106 prisoners are awaiting their execution in Japan. Every morning they wake up wondering if today is the last day. The last person to be hanged was Cat, the one who set fire to and killed 36 innocent people. But you also have to admit that if the punishment had not been harsh, Japan might not